Did Nicky Rod get exponentially better since Craig Jones left? Or since Dima and Joseph Chen made their way to B team? And Joseph obviously came long before Dima came, but Dima's practices seem to be legitimately better than anything any of these guys at B team had seen in terms of how to ramp themselves up for a competition. And we saw Craig obviously fuck off and do his thing to promote CJI and stuff, but Nicky Rod seemed to have gotten a ton better since Dima and Joseph Chen made their way to B team. So that's what this video is about. I'm not going to drag it on by any means. I want to show a few clips just to show that I do believe Nicky Rod's game and his understanding of grappling got better since these guys showed up to Austin, Texas. Now, I don't want to say that Nicky Rod grew because his grappling didn't necessarily get better, or I don't want to say that Nicky Rod didn't grow because he's been training more. Obviously, the guy has moved up through the ranks, and he's arguably going to be getting better the more rounds he puts in. He was not of the level that he is today, years ago, because, you know, he came in as the black belt slayer as a blue belt, and he was a wrestler, and he did what he did because he had that skill set, and then he became a jiu-jitsu guy and a grappler, a true grappler. So obviously he's going to get better. But I have seen since these guys, specifically Joseph and Dima, made their way to Austin, Texas, that the level of Nicky Rod's understanding of jiu-jitsu and the way he learns and the way he implements it into his game showed at CJI and showed that he has become a more complete grappler since they made their way there. So here's a clip of the hardest day of camp training for CJI and ADCC. Here's Nicky Rod training with Heisem.
Time!
Round end.
You have a break of a minute to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So usually what we do, we have some tools that I use to develop the idea of not getting connected, connecting people, staying heavy on top, stuff like this. And normally we do technique afterwards, but today is a hard day, so we will not think too much, we will just do. Then we did a positional round where we have an attacker and a defender in the standing position. This is commonly seen in the wrestling practice, so I want to bring it here into the jiu-jitsu practice. And now we have matches, 15-minute matches. We changed it up from a high heart rate to win everything approach. Now we start the actual camp. We will have 2 competition simulations from this week on Friday and Saturday. Who said son of a bitch?
Now you hear the way he talks, and it's very calm, but it's very specific. So he understands how people learn, and he took it from the wrestling standpoint, but he's implemented training and understanding of how grappling can work to benefit that wrestler and to benefit the grappler that never came from the wrestling background. Now, Nicky Rod came from a wrestling background, so he already has that mindset and that skill set, but he didn't have it in a grappler's perspective from my point. Dima definitely implemented that, and if we move on over to here, Nicky Rod talks about his mindset and stuff in this video, training for CJI 1 month out for Nicky Rod here.
Nicky Rod, we're fucking 30 days away from the big show. Can you tell us how you feel?
Yeah, right now I feel godlike. And as we get closer to competition, I will realize my true strengths, my true ability, and how untouchable I really am.
We're a couple weeks in this camp now, maybe 5 to 6 weeks in. Run us through the camp. Talk to us about your thoughts on this camp and how Dima's running everything.
Camp's going great. You know, we do a little this, a little that, and sometimes a little that and a little this, and with the culmination of other things. You know, my jiu-jitsu is very intriguing. It's a combination of athleticism, technique, endurance, and ability to overcome adversity.
Now, he didn't talk about specifics of Dima from this camp, which was the question.
You've always been a guy who's up for the challenge, but now you seem to be, you have more to fight for these days. Family group plus one. Talk to us about that.
It is true that the Rod God, the Rodzilla, Ride Lightning.
The man is not a man of many words. He puts them together and says the same thing over and over again. But you know what? Dad's strength came into play. The grappling ability that he had came into play, or has came into play. But we can watch these clips. Guard passing with Jozef Chen. This came from 9 months ago when he made his way to B team, and you see Nicky Rod in the background for these techniques. For numerous techniques. We'll scroll back and we'll look right here in this video.
Get our opponent onto their back, whether it be getting to their ankles from their grips. So like, let's say I'm posting on their shoulder, they use their hands to get a 2-on-1, I can elevate their ankle, put them onto their back. Or this is going to create a situation where I'm able to drop my knee, my outside knee, into the pocket of his hip. At the same time, I'm going to look to flatten his hip and open my right knee. So notice how my knees switch.
And really trying to understand it. So you see this, he's on the outskirts watching what Jozef's teaching the entire class. Now there's a spot in this video where Jozef is going through a guard passing clinic, and it's really focused on Nicky's round here, and he really discusses it. And there's a bit of an eye-opening experience where he sees what Jozef's showing, and he goes, oh. So there's an understanding that's happening when Jozef talks and when Dima talks that I believe has truly opened up the game of Nicky Rod.
Okay, now let's say you go butter half and he goes knee elbow stick. Would you transition to your tripod passing? Can you show me how you transition?
So like usually it's going to be the knee elbow escapes. It means he's recovering his bottom hip. I'm going to pummel this elbow, like arm to the inside and go across. Right, when I go across, I make sure I don't keep my weight here because now my weight's on his hooks. He's going to move this. I move my weight across and off of his hooks. Oh, really? Right? Can you see that again? I'm here. I'm pinching in the elbow stick. He's going to bring this elbow out. I come in here, and from here, he's going to frame and stuff. It's going to be tough. I need to make sure just not to keep my weight here. Otherwise, my weight's on his hooks. I step out the opposite side. Right? And like, if he tries to use a strong razor, I just need to make sure he doesn't get a razor right here. I can use that by flaring my elbow. I can't wait, but now he's tough.
What does the wizard do?
He's just gonna like mirror lock me, and then I'm gonna not be able to pin him. Right, like if I'm here and he mirror locks me, you see how I'm not gonna be able to face him. Right, it's gonna be just one.
Also, his shoulders are off that. Pardon? Also, when he does the mirror lock thing,
His shoulder, yeah, he can turn. It's gonna be
So he's understanding the positions, and don't get me wrong, Nicky Rod knew how to pressure pass his opponents. He was great at body lock passing. But since these guys came, we have seen a transition to some great grappling. He was the only guy to get 4 submissions in 4 matches at CJI, and he did it with grace. He has truly grown as a grappler since Dima and Jozef Chen came to B Team. I cannot say that more. I believe it wholeheartedly. Let me know in the comment section below whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me. I don't care. I just want to hear about it. Is Nicky Rod a better grappler since Craig Jones left? Who the heck knows? Check out Slappy's, the best vodka soda in town, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that other jazz. Peace.